So do I think social media is dead? And do I think that there's going to be some other way to generate traffic and exposure to your offers, your businesses? And if you're trying to promote an online business, do I think there's going to be another way to get your business in front of a lot more people who are going to potentially sort of engage with what you're trying to offer? And I think the answer is there's definitely going to be a shift. And I think that we're starting to see that shift big time. And I think a lot more platforms will emerge. But I think one thing that we have to understand is that, yeah, definitely social media is going to change. And I think how we're going to consume content, how people are going to trust and view content in a different kind of way. Because here's what I'm seeing, and I'm not going to say that I'm relieved of this. I'm guilty, just like a lot of people, is that I'm experiencing a lot of AI tools, and I get excited about different AI tools. So much has changed with AI, and I see a lot of people, particularly in our space, that are using different kinds of tools to leverage and to get their content out there. But I think that the danger is, and the risk is, are you hurting your brand? Are you getting yourself out there in the wrong way? Are you getting a message out there that's not particularly authentic? And I think that things are going to change because I think that people need to think, sort of take a step back and think, am I getting the real message out there? Am I getting that message out from me? Am I able to connect with people from who I am and from what I'm trying to get out there? So I think that's important because I see a lot of kind of generated sort of garbage, and I see a lot of people putting out stuff that obviously is AI. I'm not going to necessarily say it's AI slop, although there's a lot of AI slop out there. I'm just going to say that people do. It's like you get a machine gun out, you hammer bullets at a wall and hope something is going to stick. But that's kind of what it is with a lot of people. People are guessing a lot more. People are just sort of randomly putting stuff out there. They're scheduling posts. And I think nowadays, a lot more cases where people are on social media a lot less and less than you would think. People are getting engagements on social media that's not necessarily from the real person. People are using AI tools to engage in your posts. And I see it. I get comments from a lot of people nowadays that is obviously AI, and they're commenting using an AI tool. They couldn't care about my posts. They are looking at my post and thinking, well, not thinking anything about the post. They're just probably just randomly giving a like to a lot of people on a mass scale and then just blasting comments automatically without really reading or engaging with the post at all. So are these people actually on social media? And for the people who are actually posting on social media, people are scheduling their AI-generated posts a lot more. So a lot less people are actually seeing your posts, which is a shame. But I don't think that necessarily happens in all circles. So there's a lot of different kind of people who I'm connected with, people who really lean into AI in that kind of automated way. And there are a lot of people who use AI for a better reason. And I think people should really think about how to use AI, but try and keep your brand so that the people can take you a little bit more seriously. Because let's face it, in this online space, we're here to try and make connections. We're here to give people an offer. We want people to look at that opportunity for what it is, but also to connect with that person on a personal level, because I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards someone who is real and who's authentic and who's going to be responsible for taking care of them. Because I also see a lot of people jumping around from industry to industry, or rather offer to offer, business to business. And if someone thinks about joining you in a particular business and they think that you're probably not going to be with that offer for the next few weeks or months, then they're probably not going to join you. So I see a lot of more people are sponsor shopping. They want to be sure that person who they join is going to be responsible and kind of like feel like, do they up their game? What kind of marketing tools, what kind of systems, what kind of value that they can get? Are they going to be able to get into that person's inbox and ask questions if they get stuck? Is that person a person that they can reach out to and get support from? So I think those are the things that you've got to be careful of, because if you're trying to move into an area where AI is just going to take over everything, then I think that's going to be a real dodgy thing. So think about it. When we got social media and we got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got TikTok, and a lot of the posts that you're seeing randomly generated images, people are just sort of firing a lot of randomly, automatically generated images onto social media. And the same thing is happening now with short form videos, which is great. And there's some great tools. And I know I'm in some cases guilty with this, and I'm doing it more and more, but I'm evaluating what sort of balance we can get with this. I realize AI can help with a lot of the heavy lifting, which is nice to be able to consider that. But then we need to get to a point where we need to evaluate, how has this worked out for me? And that's really where I'm getting to now. I've played around with a lot of AI tools. And I'm thinking, can I rely on this? Am I really able to keep that my authentic self as my brand, which is important so that people can take me seriously? And also, I think it's important. It's important to use the right tools. I'm definitely all over tools, obviously, like ChatGPT. I definitely need good, solid quality graphics, but I need to be able to create graphics in a certain way. I need to be able to control it. I need to be able to the right kind of information about your offer that comes from you. Make it feel like it's coming from you. AI can handle that. AI can handle your voice. AI can handle the right information. So brainstorm with AI, feed it the right content. And that's why, I use a lot of the ChatGPT tools. Like I create a huge amount of custom projects and custom GPTs of my own that I wouldn't let others use because they just help me with my own personal workflow. So ChatGPT already knows a lot of what I do, how I work, how I like to get content out there. It's not just about having a handful of fancy prompts that I use. It's more about trying to train the AI tool to know more about me so I can speed up the process, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm just working less. I'm definitely inputting a lot more training and a lot more knowledge into the tool so that it understands my direction and my flow, so that it can produce a lot better results that are more authentic about me faster. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to keep my social media presence more authentic without just trying to guess too much. But at the same time, I do tend to see a lot of people who are trying to shortcut their social media stuff. And I think that the danger is that down the road, if this happens a lot more, I think people will just choose other platforms. They'll choose to follow different people. They'll go in different directions. And I think that that's why I would say in many ways, I prefer YouTube. And I believe that YouTube is going to be a very major way where people can get authentic information, particularly long-form videos, because there aren't any tools really that can actually automate a real long-form video, although there are, but you would know it. If a channel is just putting out a lot of long-form videos that are completely AI automated and generated by AI, you're going to know it. And so you're going to decide if you think that content is useful for you and you're going to continue watching it, or if you're going to move to something else. And I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards a channel or an individual or an influencer who is more focused on real face-to-face connections, live, something about what they're putting out there from themselves, rather than just doing everything in sort of AI automation. So I think definitely things are going to shift, things are going to change. And I think that YouTube is definitely something that people need to get more kind of better at using. I think people should upload a YouTube channel, get a YouTube channel going. I think that it's going to be worth your while to crank up your YouTube videos, particularly long form videos. And you can certainly make those videos into short form. And I think short form are going to be fine. They're going to be great. But I think that the people who are going to win are people who have figured out how to use AI to keep their brand alive, to keep their connection, to keep the real individual of their, rather than just faking everything, rather than just randomly generating a lot of stuff. Some of that might be fine, but I realize I've been doing some of that, but I'm trying to figure out a balance. I think a lot of us are still in that exploration phase of looking at different AI tools and realizing perhaps I shouldn't have done that. Perhaps that was going to automation. And yeah, I've been accused of doing a lot of AI slop, but honestly speaking, I actually like playing around with it. I actually like to see what some of these AI tools, it's part of the learning phase. I think there's no harm in learning or going through that phase, making those mistakes. And I am making those mistakes in some cases by seeing what we can do, how much we can get away with, not in a bad way, but in a kind of a balance, thinking, of course, it's great if we can use an AI tool that can do a lot of the heavy lifting and leverage what we're doing, but not at the expense of losing who we are and being authentic online. So showing who you are, showing you're responsible. You can be a responsible upline, showing that you can be someone who is ready to support your community. And I think that's important. People are just going to end up joining the right people and just sort of ditching the people who are just really not looking like they're actually putting themselves out there. And I'm sorry, I know that some of us are introverts. I am an introvert. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm shy, but I think there's certain areas you need to break out of. But yes, AI can help that, but I still think that there's a balance, and you have to work out that sort of balance as to how much AI you need to use in what sort of way to help you to automate in a certain way. But automation doesn't need to kill that authenticity that you're trying to put out there. And it shouldn't kill your brand. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, I hope this video was useful. And thanks for watching. I look forward to and see you in the next video. Bye for now.